left on your seat. That is our conference evaluation form. May we trouble you just to take a couple of minutes, if you haven't, to complete the form. And on your way out later, could we get you to drop them? There will be a brown basket over by the door. So as you walk out later at the end of the conference, can we trouble you just to drop it in that basket? Doping means athletes taking illegal substances to improve their performance. However, doping in sports remains a serious and difficult issue, putting an athlete's health at risk, threatening the integrity of clean athletes and the reputation of sports. We have with us today our learned friend from Singapore, Encik Salim. He will be moderating our next session, which is doping in sports. So just a very brief background. Encik Salim has a very long and sterling CV, but with my 1 minute that I have, I will just touch on a few points of what I can. Encik Salim is very involved in the football scene in Singapore. He currently sits as the chairman of the Player Status Committee of the Football Association of Singapore, which is a tribunal which adjudicates disputes involving clubs and players in the S-League. From a doping aspect, Encik Salim in the 2015 SEA Games, the recent one, Encik Salim was a member of the Anti-Doping Results Management Committee, and he will be serving the same role in the ASEAN Para Games, the one that was mentioned by YB Khairi this morning, which is going to be happening this weekend. Today and throughout the rest of the weekend. I'll get Encik Salim just to come up and to moderate the next session for us today. Thank you.
Very good afternoon, ladies. All of us have had a wonderful lunch. First and foremost, I'd like to thank my good friend. Unfortunately, I don't see them here. Both Richard and Yip, whom I've known for close to 13 years now. Yes, Richard. For inviting me to actually play a role in this sports conference. And at the same time giving me the unenviable task of keeping everyone awake just after a very good lunch. Before we jump into the topic at hand, which has been named the good, the bad and the ugly, please allow me to digress a bit. Yeah. I attended the RWY Sports Conference on the 26th of November 2013. That was the inaugural sports conference organized by Richard here. Then I was the only foreign delegate. I'm glad I'm not the only one today. So that shows how successful this series of conferences has been. Back then, RWY was a young and aspiring firm, which was only 3 years in existence, right? Yet the dynamic duo of Richard and Yip embarked on a bold, revolutionary and ambitious initiative to pioneer a sports law conference. This is usually the realm and arena of a large firm, right? Because they've got their army of lawyers and support staff. However, Richard and Yip decided to gate crash a big firm's boundaries, which traditionally limits the scope of work of a small law firm. What they have done over the years is they've expanded the parameters of their work, and the fact that we are all here enjoying an engaging and thought-provoking conference is very much a testament to all the good work that they've put in. I would like to say that RWY has emphatically upped the ante and definitively raised the game. Please join me in giving RWY a big round of applause for putting together not one, not two, but 3 successful sports conferences. Another piece. Secondly, I know from experience that organizing a successful conference involves a mammoth amount of time and effort. Planning, strategizing efforts would have started months ago, and this would have been at the expense of lawyers' billable time. A lot of sacrifice had to be put in instead of chasing the dollar, or in our case the ringgit. So I'd like to again applaud the timeless and tireless efforts put in by Richard, Yip, Leslie, and the entire team for putting together something which is as successful as this. Okay, now that we've gotten that out of the way, yeah, it leads me to introduce the first speaker this afternoon, but please do not come up yet. I've known this next speaker, Mr. Nishel Kumar, for a few years now, but ironically, this is the first time we are meeting in KL. We've met in Tokyo, Hanoi, and Singapore, but never in KL. Okay? So I just met him a few minutes ago here. He is the General Manager of ADAMAS, which is the acronym for Anti-Doping Agency of Malaysia, and has been a board member of the Southeast Asia Regional Anti-Doping Organization, which is better known by its acronym of CRADO. Before I invite him to come up, we have a short video, an introductory video, which I think is quite apt for the topic which we are dealing with today, which is the good, bad, and the ugly. If we can have the video played now.
Sport brings out the best in us. Dedication, courage and hard work, respect for the game and the people who play it. But sport also brings out the worst in some of us. Athletes who use performance-enhancing drugs cheat everyone. Their families and fans, fellow athletes, but most of all, themselves. After all, sport is really all about equality. We are WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency headquartered in Montreal, Canada. We're the result of a unique partnership between sport and governments worldwide with a mission to help athletes play true. That's why the World Anti-Doping Code was created. To protect athletes, to protect sport, and to protect greater public health. Accepted by nearly 600 international organizations and all Olympic sports, it's the foundation for anti-doping efforts everywhere. In effect, the core framework for harmonized anti-doping policies, rules, and regulations in all countries. We promote honesty, integrity, and equality in sport through education and outreach, teaching the real value of playing clean, as well as the many dangers and consequences of doping. We facilitate and monitor the work of sport, government, and many others who analyze and investigate. In fact, our research program is the only international program dedicated to the development of methods to detect doping abuse. After all, our fight is everyone's fight. Every athlete, every parent, every coach, trainer, and doctor, every government, sports federation, and lab, every Olympic committee, even every fan. We're proud to be leading the fight because our responsibility is to the smallest child all the way up to the Olympic medalist. We know we can't change things overnight, but we do know things have to change. And we know we're already making a difference. That's why we do what we do, so everyone can play true.
I'd like to cordially invite Mr. Nishel Kumar to give you his address.